Matthew Judon was supposed to be the missing piece for the Atlanta Falcons defense, the guy who could terrorize quarterbacks, collapse pockets, and bring swagger back to a franchise that's been desperate for defensive stars. But just one season later, he might already be on the move. Here's the question Bears fans are asking right now. Are we about to inherit a game-wrecking superstar or a washed-up veteran with nothing left in the tank? When the Falcons traded a third-round pick to New England for Judon last year, the move was celebrated as a bold gamble. Atlanta needed someone, anyone, who could generate consistent pressure. Instead, they got a veteran linebacker who never looked comfortable in their scheme. Was Judon the problem, or was Atlanta's defense so dysfunctional that even an elite pass rusher didn't stand a chance? Atlanta finished 31st in sacks last season with just 31. That's 1 sack per game. Think about that. In a league dominated by passing offenses, how does a team expect to win if they can't even touch the quarterback? Was Judon set up to fail from the beginning, or did the Falcons simply overestimate what he had left at 30 years old? When reporters asked Judon about Atlanta's struggles, his response was blunt. Hell not, it wasn't bad luck. If you look at the film, I dropped into coverage on 60% of the plays. It's hard to get a sack and an interception on the same play. That statement alone raises questions. Why did the Falcons trade for a pass rusher then force him to play as a coverage linebacker? Was this coaching malpractice, or is Judon throwing his coaches under the bus to save face?
Now, with Atlanta needing to clear cap space and rebuild their front seven, Chicago appears poised to pounce. The Bears were reportedly interested in Judon before he signed with Atlanta, and they might finally get their man. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Should the Bears invest in an aging pass rusher coming off a down year, or focus on developing younger talent? For Chicago, the stakes are enormous. Last season, their defense showed flashes of brilliance, but they still lack that one dominant edge presence who could close games. Can Judon be that closer, or are the Bears setting themselves up for disappointment? Remember, Judon isn't just any player. Before landing in Atlanta, he was a sack machine in New England, posting back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. Was that production a product of Bill Belichick's system, or is Judon truly capable of wrecking games anywhere he plays? The timing of this move is crucial. The Bears' offense is loaded with young talent, and if their defense can match that energy, this team could make serious noise in the NFC. But if Judon doesn't pan out, will this signing be remembered as Ryan Poles' first major blunder? Judon's age is another factor. He's over 30, the age where many edge rushers begin to slow down. Are the Bears getting the Judon who dominated AFC East offensive lines, or the one who looked invisible for long stretches in Atlanta? And let's not forget about Judon's mindset. In his interview, he seemed frustrated with his role and hinted that he didn't want to stay in Atlanta. Does that suggest he's still hungry to prove himself, or is this a player more concerned about his next paycheck than his next sack? The Bears' interest in Judon also raises bigger questions about their defensive philosophy. Are they looking for a quick fix to chase a playoff berth in 2025, or are they trying to build a long-term contender? Can a 30-year-old Judon fit into that vision?
Meanwhile, Falcons fans are wondering what went wrong. They paid a steep price for Judon and got minimal production in return. Was this trade one of the worst moves of Atlanta's offseason, or did Judon's failure expose deeper flaws in the Falcons' defensive scheme? There's also the financial angle. Atlanta's reportedly willing to eat part of Judon's salary just to move on. If the Falcons are this desperate to cut ties, shouldn't that set off alarm bells in Chicago, or is this simply a salary cap casualty in today's NFL? For Judon himself, this might be the last chance to reshape his narrative. Can he silence the critics and prove he's still one of the league's most feared pass rushers? Or will 2024-2025 mark the end of his time as an impact player? Let's also talk about the locker room impact. Judon is known for his leadership and energy. In Chicago, that could be a huge asset for a young team still learning how to win. But will his fiery personality clash with Bears coaches if they ask him to drop into coverage like Atlanta did? This potential move also shines a spotlight on Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams. Can Williams unlock Judon's potential in a way Atlanta never could? Or will this just be another example of a big-name signing who doesn't fit the scheme? And what about the NFC North? With Jordan Love rising in Green Bay and Jared Goff's Lions looking strong, the Bears need every edge they can get. Will Judon tip the scales in their favor, or will Chicago's rivals laugh at them for signing a declining veteran? Fans are already debating, is Judon worth the risk for a team trying to get over the hump, or is this another failed experiment waiting to happen? One thing is certain, if Judon lands in Chicago and dominates, Ryan Poles will look like a genius. But if Judon flops, the Bears front office will face some very uncomfortable questions about their talent evaluation.